There's buttons on the bottom, I just can't read them. No, come here. Okay. You see these connectors here, you run your fingers along the bottom.
Oh, right.
And maybe with a camera, I could take a picture.
Okay. Okay.
Plus, we kind of lost the screen here too.
Are you doing Zoom?
Yeah, the volume on the speakers on the TV is causing echo for us.
Okay, let me see what I can do.
We found buttons over here, but we can't see what they are because they're so close to the wall.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Okay. So, where is your Zoom?
So I was I was gonna bring these magazines to.
That mouse is not working, so
Okay.
let's use the,
Out of the way.
To bring them home. Do you think people would look at it?
oh, now it's working.
Yeah, I've
Need
got
to use it.
box full of stuff in my car.
There's this article.
Battery for it?
Battery is low. I just put in a new battery.
Okay.
Report?
This is.
All right, let's see. So they're hearing an echo or we're hearing an echo?
We're hearing.
Okay.
There
And
in their reporting system. This is their use.
so
Let's
let's try the same system. Let's try that.
Hey, Jim, if you're talking, we can't hear you. Cannot hear you. We cannot hear you. Hey, George, can you hear anything?
No.
Yeah. Hey, Jim, we cannot hear anything. We could before, but there was a little bit of an echo. Hey, Jim.
Testing.
Oh, there you go. Now we hear you.
Thank you. All right.
Good. Thanks, guys.
Sure. So You can see my screen, John. I've got,
Yes. Yeah,
okay,
I see Ray on the screen.
all right. So as an intro, Towa is a spinoff from Gardenland Power Equipment. It's been in business since 1960. Gardenland, starting in 2017, they've been in business since 1960, but serving outdoor power equipment. These are professionals that do the campuses, the schools, all the way down to some mom and pop shops, you know, the whole range, but it's professional outdoor power equipment. Starting in 2017, that company pushed into battery power, and because that's where a lot of the school districts, you know, it's a state mandate to go to battery power, but it actually started in the homeowners associations and the school districts, and especially in 2020 with COVID, really pushed it into, you know, people became aware of how noisy and smelly all the equipment can be. So in 2020, Toa got started and launched equipment to help with that niche of, okay, battery power equipment was getting out there, but seems to be this niche of how do we power things and how do we, you know, the infrastructure question is very important, and I'll talk more about that in a moment. Till now, in 2024, we've got equipment out there to help these companies convert from gas to battery. So our niche is power management, and and that's what this presentation is about, is talking about what our tech is all about.
If you want, we can move that chair out of the way.
No, it kind of acts like podium. It kind of helps me to. All right. So what's the problem with converting from gas to battery? There's three big ones. One is finding the right equipment. There's a lot of cost. They're gas-powered equipment. They know how it works. It's fine-tuned, and they have all this capital. Well, now that none of that capital is worth anything now they have to switch to batteries. So it's that initial cost of converting, let alone finding the right equipment that'll work. The other problem they have is charging. Gas doesn't work anymore. Now you have electric battery, or you know, you have that's your gas. So how are you gonna pay for it? Charging at scale requires tens of thousands of work of infrastructure. You now have to get all this power into your building because now you have 50, 100, a couple hundred batteries that you have to charge. And so that's a really high cost, and that has nothing to do with trimming lawns or working out. I mean, this is separate. You have to put in this electrical infrastructure. And again, the big companies, the big campus level companies maybe can absorb that, but there are a lot of mom and pop shops out there, and how are they ever going to meet it? You know, or companies getting off the ground. I'm starting to see some small firms, you know, young, hungry guys and gals wanting to get, and you know, these small companies started, you know, and outdoor gardening and stuff, and they're saying, no, I'm going to start from battery. And that actually is a formula that probably can work a little better, but a lot of these they have to make decisions if they even want to keep in business. So it's not trivial. So they have to get the infrastructure in, plus they have to power it. Battery charge times and battery run times are often insufficient. So just how a landscape professional knows, okay, I got to bring 3 tanks of gas, or I got a quick run over here, but if they don't have powered batteries, they are in trouble. They are out of, so these are some of the things they need to think about, and that's the niche that Towa wants to fit. We're not an end user, you know, we don't make trimmers, we don't make blowers. We are about getting power to these customers that desperately need it. And a lot of the companies just aren't serving that need. Nobody's filling that niche. And from a business perspective, that's tens of billions of dollars a year. That's technically the market that we're trying to get into. So and nobody is really servicing it. So that's where we come in. So a lot of when I talk to customers, my line is, we give you mobile outlets and we give you mobile power. That is in a nutshell of what Towa does. They need outlets on the road. They need outlets in their shops. They need to charge batteries. So this is about the first part of our product lineup. So this is our first product, the Towa Power Distribution Manager, PDM. This is a piece of equipment that off of a single 20 amp outlet, this is a 20 amp 120 volt outlet like that. If you have if you got your circuit breaker and then you go to this outlet, make sure it's a dedicated line. Don't have like a coffee maker or a copy machine on it. But with a single dedicated 20 amp line, you can get as many outlets as you need. And the advantage here is time. At the end of the day, the guys want to drop in their batteries, drop in as many batteries as you need off of a single outlet. We can give you as many outlets as you need where you don't have to pay an electrician to put in a line. You don't have to wait for permits. And it's also not dedicated to this location in space. If you want to move your tool crib, your charging rack over to here, great. Move it over to here, unplug it. So the tech is essentially, in a nutshell, it operates like a smart power strip. So what it does is each one of these is an individual PDM. And the PDM has an input line here, and then it's got 4 managed outlets. What that means is there's a little chip on each one of those outlets. And go ahead, plug in your chargers and power up the unit. Its standby state is on, so all the outlets are available. But when the guys start dropping in their batteries, and power gets demanded, once the power goes over 16 amps, which is the NEMA federal or local, safety limit for a 20 amp outlet, it says, oh, I got to turn that outlet off. But let's say there's 4 or 5 amps left. If somebody just plugs in like a little 2 amps, like, great, let that one go. As soon as those initial batteries are charged and the demand drops below 16 amps and there's sufficient headroom, it'll turn the next outlets back on. So again, it's a thing of time where if you don't have to have everything charged all at once in an overnight situation, we'll give you all the charge you need. So that's what the first part of managed outlets is. And the other part of the tech is that you can daisy chain it. Each one of these units talks to one another. So on the front, there's a little power line that shares the power, daisy chains up the power, and you can't see it, but on the back of that, there's a little network cord, just a little patch cord. So each one of them talks to one another. So if I have a stack of like 4, here's a stack of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All of these talk to one another and they're powered off of a single line. So again, if these guys get in about 3:30 or so, and then they leave about 7. So over that 15 hours, that's and I just have a 300, 500 watt handheld battery and a bunch of them. You can charge all those overnight. And it's very, very important. This is actually a fraction of the cost of having to have an electrician come in and put in your power. You have to wait for those permits, and all you want to do is you got to get out there and trim. You got to get out. You want to spend your money on that. This is one of the main things we offer in terms of mobile outlets. I spun through quite a bit of info there.
Yeah, I'm gonna come up here so the people on the other end can hear my question.
Sure.
It occurs to me that this solution isn't limited to landscaping equipment. You could, in
Yes.
theory, charge any high power equipment.
Right.
You
Well,
wanted.
this thing is designed to power 120 volt equipment. So if you have, this is an outlet. This is not a landscape outlet. This is just an outlet. So outdoor power, outdoor contractors, construction, homeowners, it's an outlet. So the most direct need in the context that this came out in garden land was for gardening and those customers. But yes, we're pushing into all sorts of potential users and so forth.
Okay.
So, yeah. So that's the basic thing, and this kind of outlines it in a little more detail. I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself there. But this talks about the challenges to charging. You've got a circuit box that typically, you got one outlet that's doing 2 Makita chargers, another one that's doing some backpack chargers here. This is an Aaron's power vault type setup. And then you got some ride-on. This is 10 to 20 grand worth of electrical infrastructure right here you're looking at that they have to put in just to charge these. It requires cost, it requires power. Everyone will plug in at the same time, and guess what PG&E says? Oh, that's peak rate time. So now you're not only charging, you can get the power, but now it's expensive power. And so and if any of these circuit goes and your circuit is blown, what's a guy gonna do when he shows up at 7 a.m.? He's stuck for like 3 hours. That could lose a whole day. So what Towa does is just pop in a 20 amp breaker. I mean, you've got them right here. Any good shop will have that. And it just manages all the time. It minimizes, there's no infrastructure, each one of these units costs $600. We sell them pre-stacked, so it's a fraction of it. It's no more difficult than a power strip to plug in, so you don't need a permitted electrician to do it. And so yeah, that's the basics of the tech. These are how some people have been using it. This is in one tool crib at a landscaper here. They've got one circuit here charging these 16, it's got 16 available outlets doing all those handheld batteries there. And another 20, a separate 20 amp line doing all these backpack batteries on this side. This is very straightforward. It's really interesting. A lot of landscapers will come to us and you can see the visible stress on their face. They're like, oh my God, what do I got to do? I'm dead. And we'll explain this and explain, and you guys already understand the limits of, what this is about, and you can see the stress go away. And they're like, oh, okay, how much is that? Okay, I'll take 4 of them. And then they'll be like, now I got to get more trimmers and blowers and stuff. So we've got a lot of outdoor equipment companies like Steel, Greenworks, all these companies that are now coming to us because they understand our product is kind of like keys to the realm. You buy our stuff, then they can buy more of their stuff. This is actually at a golf course in Los Gatos. This is an interesting setup where they've got 4 PDMs set up here and this is the other nice thing. It's a small footprint. So it keeps things out of the way. You got all the tech on one side, all these chargers here, these steel backpacks, and then these Ego chargers on the other side. So this goes to your point of it doesn't have to be one thing or another. We just furnish outlets, and so they can plug in all different equipment.
Will it also charge, or it's not strong enough to charge the little electric cart, the golf carts?
Well, this product, yes, if it's a 120 volt charger, we also have a version in 240. I'll show that to you in a moment here. But yes, we have what's nice is the circuitry in there. Our board switches based upon current. It doesn't switch upon voltage. It monitors how much current. So we can take that board, and now we've got it in sheet metal and outlets for 120. Well, we can now take it and just wrap different sheet metal and put 240 amp or 240 volt outlets, and it'll now do 240. And I'll show you some of the different things we can do with it. So, but yeah, we're a small company. So what we did is it's kind of it's like putting a Lamborghini engine into a Honda Civic. I mean, what you're looking at here, that board can do actually quite a lot of things. It can even handle up to level 2, 240, 30 amp EV charging. The traces and engineering in the board. So, because we didn't want to have to go back. So this is, outlets that are easy to set up in a tool crib. Here, this is now the real mobile outlets. They want to go out and they want to be able to, go to different sites with their equipment and charge batteries during the day. So we have these designed up with a heavy bracketing system. So here you have a PDM that's charging all these batteries. It's just a single RV outlet right here. So you put an RV 120-volt, 20 amp outlet on the back of of an enclosed trailer. That runs power to this PDM, and then this PDM charges here. So if they're out on the road and they have access to power, they can charge during the day when they're out. But the real nice thing is at the end of the day, these guys can back their trailer in, plug in their trailer, and everything gets a charge. And what's nice is at the end of the day, a lot of them, sometimes if you don't have this, what they have to do is now they got to take them in and they got to plug them in and blah, blah, blah. Everything gets mixed and matched. But now everything stays in there. It's a good, secure environment. Crews can keep track of their inventory and turnover time. You know, when they back this thing in, when they can, and then they can all go home is quite quick. So there's some real advantages to that. So, and what's nice about the relationship with Gardenland is I am speaking with customers every day. And you get to understand what they need, what works, what doesn't work. Hey, can we drive out to Gochina and take a look at some of the trailers or to help them set up the tech? And so we can help tailor make it for what these companies need. So that's our PDM tech. That is the mobile outlets, giving them power either in the shop or on the road. Now we've had a lot of interest, and so we've implemented it, is mobile power. And I was going to talk our battery powered system here. This is a tech that includes kilowatt rated power stations. I'll show you in just a moment what those are, but those are basically big batteries that act like 3 kilowatt generators, you know, that you just bring with you. We have mobile solar panels that can plug directly into those. So if you need power on the road, you can set these up. And then so now you can power either at the site or even if you're driving, you can power overnight. So yeah, let me go through that. So this is our basic unit. It's a 3,000 watt unit. So if there are typical handheld battery is about 200 to 300 watts and watt hours, excuse me. So you can charge like 15 to 20 max, depending on how depleted they are, off of one of our 3,000 watt generators. The beauty of the generator too is now if you need more power or more gas for your unit, we have 2,500 watt expansion units that can plug into that. So this can give you up to 18 kilowatts of power. You can do quite a lot. You can set up a remote charging station. There's many things you can do with that. The tech, we offer these solar panels. And they're good. They help you to top off the tank. It's not a fully reliable way to recharge your battery, but it'll keep you topped off during the day. These can plug right into the battery. They're portfolio size, a accordion style that you can unfold at the site. And yeah, so now you become more autonomous. So this gives you full mobile power. So now the beauty of the system comes together when now that we can offer outdoor contractors now mobile power and mobile outlets. So now their trailers have autonomy. You know, we're all familiar with seeing outdoor contractors out there with their equipment and with their tanks of gas. Well, this is something that offers them a full EV conversion or battery conversion to that. So yeah, we to keep them DOT certified, we also sell them with these trays. These trays, you can drill them down to the deck and then strap in your batteries. Let's see. It's universal and power efficient solutions. It's mobile and accessible. These are things that don't require permits to get set up. You don't really need a contractor. I'm sorry, what's up?
Yeah, that's my question. At a construction site. So there's a van that the construction company owns, the solar panels are on top of it. And all the equipment is inside the trailer or whatever. don't you need a permit from the city to use the solar panels to?
Well, if you're talking a permanent thing.
Repeat the question for the Zoom.
Sure, so the question that you're asking is if there is a van at a construction site from a contractor. It maybe has solar panels on top of the van and then also batteries and equipment in the van. So to construct that whole thing, do you need a permit for that? That's a hard installation and that needs a contractor to do a hard installation, for the solar panels. So I would have to, you'd want to have a contractor doing that, putting those panels in, because those are full weather resistant, transport resistant solar panels. These panels, you carry out and you set up on the grass. And then plug them into the battery. So they're not a permanent installation. We do not recommend them for like outdoor, permanently affixed to the transport. We are looking into actually that tech right now, as an additional solution for us. And I can probably comment a lot better on that next year.
So you're not, the construction company owns this van.
Right,
It's not like you're coming in with a van helping the construction company.
that's correct. Yeah, correct. So. Are there any questions on Zoom? Okay,
No, we're
That's-
good.
good, okay, good. And the sound is good?
Yeah, real good. Good
Okay,
job.
excellent. So, okay,
What's
so,
the cost of battery unit for a remote location to charge the pump?
sure. These batteries are about $29.95. The extension packs, I forget the price of those. John, do you recall the price of the expansion? I want to say 25.
Yeah, I mean, they're about $1 a watt. So, the 3 kilowatt is, 3,000, 2,500 for the, and 1,800 for the 1,800.
Right.
Close enough.
So these are available a la carte, you can buy them independently, but then we also sell trailer kits. And with the trailer kits, that gives you a reduced cost. It's almost like getting the PDM for free. Go ahead.
Side high school district in San Jose. They had several campuses at part of the high school district.
Susie knows that, she works there.
Oh, okay. And so, Silvera, I forgot, Roger Silvera was very pro, ride-on mower for the landscape custodians. And I wonder if they've bought or if has any high school district bought your.
Yes, we have, I know we were at a show in San Diego and the San Diego Unified School District has bought a lot. And actually they're doing tremendously innovative things with their getting electric buses and all electric equipment. We have now been starting to make inroads into the city of San Jose, and I believe some school districts have already purchased. I don't remember offhand which ones. So, but yeah.
You can mention Stanford University.
Oh, yeah. Some of these shots, I have some other customer shots. We just finished with Stanford. They converted, set up several tool sheds and off of which we converted with them. They now have PDM technology deployed all through their campus. On this particular deployment, off of about 10 circuits, we gave them well over about 150 outlets, which is a nice rate. Those are all reliable outlets they can do. And probably the toughest thing about this field is when everything works, you don't hear anything from your customer. But then when you finally reach out to them, they're like, oh yeah, it's doing great. And so a lot of good interest there. This is an indication of this view here of a full deployment. So in this view here, you've got our PDMs, our batteries and our PDMs supporting all this steel technology. Again, they plug the trailer in at the end of the day. That charges up the batteries, and it also that powers the PDM. The PDM powers these batteries. So after the end of the night, everything, these batteries and these batteries out here have a full charge, and they can go through for this particular setup, they'll go through all these backpack batteries and recharge half of them by the time the day is over. So their crews reliably operate. Yeah, so just continuing some of that. So where is this technology going? We've been very successful at getting the basic switching and basic mobile power out. We have a 120 product that's out. This is the design in 240 amps. So again, those outlets are a little bigger, so we had to make a little larger enclosure. And we also now have units in Europe. So we have just started selling, but these are the European 7.7 style 230 volt 20 amp 16 amp style.
Sorry to keep interrupting you, can the 240 volt with the 4 outlets, can that be outdoors and okay in the rain and the wind?
That's a fantastic question. And the quick answer is no. And it is a fantastic question. So what can be out in the rain is a couple of products we're coming up with through the balance of this year. One is this power vault. Actually, we're receiving our second prototype this week that we'll be trying out in Colorado next month. Our power vault takes these PDMs. Remember how I talked about the circuit board that's in the unit? We've put the circuit boards now right here in this side cabinet. So what a power vault is, it's a 4 by 3.5. No kidding, it's about 5 feet tall. This puppy's big. It's got a roller, like a garage style roller front door. You roll it around. This gives a solution for open trailers or for outdoor use. This is an initial solution. And what this does is this gives you 15 managed outlets on between these two trays. And then another outlet down here on the bottom for a 240 ride-on mower. So it off of a single input line, now you can charge all your stuff. And this also has a web-enabled device, so you can now monitor it on your phone. How is the device doing? So that's one solution for outdoor. I'll jump ahead here to our Towa groundsman that will be coming out with later this year. This will have a set, this will be in a water, this takes again those circuit boards and puts them in a watertight box. And now you can run out outlets off of this, they're managed, or you can just have them on the box here, 240 outlets. What we can do is we can put a J1772 EV input on this. So now what they can do is they could mount this on their trailer, and they can, if they're on the road, they can just plug into an EV charger, and charge this. Or conversely, on our first round, we're probably not going to do that, but you can put EV chargers onto this thing.
Do I understand it correctly? In other words, there's an outlet where you can take a Ford 158 electric lightning and plug it in and it'll charge the battery inside?
Eventually, right now,
Right now it's output.
yeah, right now the output that we're working into our first round of it is 120 and 240.
So a 240 outlet that I can plug my car into?
Well, we'd have to work on a few things with it, but our first go around would not have that. But what it would have, it'd be an input. So you can plug this into a battery charger, and now you can charge
Like a charge point.
Yeah, yes, that's exactly it. So, and now you can charge equipment off that. These two things are happening later this year, quite soon. We're on good progress towards getting that out. But again, this is taking the basic circuit, we tweak it a little bit, but taking our basic circuitry and put it into different enclosures to do different things. We got a lot of flexibility how we can do this. And then another product is our master unit. That master unit is something you can just put onto a PDM stack. And what you can do with that is, you can monitor it, you can schedule it. Let's say I don't want to hit peak rate, so start charging after 9. We're all familiar with turning our dishwashers on late or dryers on late, so we don't hit peak charge, or our car chargers on late, so we don't hit peak rate. So that's what this does. Plus, it also has a dashboard, so you can do billing and other things. But then, yeah, so that's the big items in our roadmap, which we're very excited about. This is just a little more detail on that Power Vault tech. Again, we've got a customer out in Colorado that's extremely interested and they want to just try it right away. So we'll be delivering that to them in the next couple of weeks. Are there any questions? Yes.
Just a comment, we have on our website a resources page and Ben is in charge of our website, so if it's not there already, we'll put a link to your, so people can find out about it when they're.
Sure, towatools.com is our website. So,
Okay.
and we are just down the road too,
Yeah.
so,
I'll spread the word for you.
okay. This is who we are. Richard Ogawa and Ron Solorio got together and formed the company in 20. I used to work for Ron. We were doing at a company called Cyber Switching. We were doing this for the EV charge space. The company took a while to develop. That kind of it wasn't developing in certain. For reasons, I left the company for a few years, worked in aerospace, actually aerospace explosives. It was a lot of fun. And then came back and joined back up with Ron. I'm director of engineering in 21, late 21. And then John is working with us now and through last year. He is now our president and helping, we're all working together to get the company up and off the ground. We have a close relationship with Aaron's company as helping us get started. They're in the Midwest. They're an outdoor power equipment company. But this is some of our top level folks.
Hey, Jim.
Yes.
A couple of things I want to mention too is I'm not sure if you mentioned this, but if a landscaper has a blackout during the night, well, if they don't have our technology, our products, somebody's got to go in there and unplug them, plug them back in. Whereas with ours, as soon as the power comes back on, it starts ramping up and it will start charging those batteries without any manual interference.
Correct. We pick up where it left off. So, yeah. We are actually, it's interesting. Yes, so that's important that our customers do not arrive in the morning with uncharged equipment. So, there have been some situations where, like with, I think it was a Greenworks Caddy, the 6-up unit. No, it was a Husqvarna unit. Husqvarna has their chargers where if the power goes down, they don't turn back on right away. You have to reseat the battery. And well, that's the basis of what we do. We switch power off and on all the time. So the tech wasn't compatible with it, but here in California, rolling blackouts, you need to not have that happen. So we went back with Husqvarna and had them update their firmware. So now not only they are compatible with our equipment, but they're compatible with the craziness of the California power grid. So it's been interesting. Yeah, but that's a really good point, John.
Yeah. Hey, one other thing is, if a company wants to go all battery, but they don't have our powering system with the BPS and the PDMs, well, now they got to take, 4 or 5 or 6 batteries for every piece of equipment because it's got to be fully charged as they get on the road. With ours, they only need 2 batteries per piece of equipment because they're either using a battery or they're charging a battery. So it really cuts down on the battery expense that they have to incur to keep their products running.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking to see how much these companies spend and you say you don't really need to spend all that much if you just think about this usage, so.
Very good.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good job, Jen.
All right. Thank you, John. Thanks for calling in.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Take care.
All right. Bye. Let's see. How do I turn this up? So I'll take there. Okay.